Now that the dust has settled on the 2023 NFL season, who was the best, who was the worst? Well, let's go ahead and unpack that by providing my 32-team power rankings. Today's going to be part 1 where we cover teams 32 to 17. Tomorrow will be team 16 to team number 1. So let's just go ahead and dive right into this. We got a lot to cover. So starting off at number 32, we're going to have the Carolina Panthers. This team is down 10 spots from these rankings where they were last year because, man, this team really just mortgaged their entire future to get Bryce Young. And it did not pan out at all. They had Frank Reich get fired. They just completely are a dumpster fire. I don't even see them getting out of this in the next couple of years. It's going to be a long few years for Carolina Panthers fans. At number 31, we have the Washington Commanders, down 13 spots. This team, they are making some moves in the right direction, but there have been some baffling moves this offseason as well. They just really feel like they don't really have much of a sense of direction. They're starting to get things going, but to me, they just kind of look like a blob that just has arms and legs flailing in just every direction, so really they don't really have much of a sense of direction. At number 30, we have the New England Patriots. The Patriots also down 13 spots from last season. They don't really have a quarterback. They don't have much of anything. They don't have a supporting cast around the quarterback. It is a mess. This team can get good quickly if they can get a quarterback and some, supporting cast around them, because that defense started playing really well. But they gotta get the offense going if they want to have any chance of being successful next year. At 29, we have the Tennessee Titans, who are down 3 spots from last year, as they really didn't feel like they were all that great. It really sounded like Derrick Henry has played his last game as a Titan, and really, this team just is feeling kind of directionless. They got themselves a new young head coach, and they have somewhat of a direction, but it's not, really defined. They do have Will Levis, but Will Levis was really up and down in his rookie year, so it's going to be interesting to see how they perform next year, but they do have a rough year, more than likely, in store for next year. At 28, we have the Denver Broncos, down 5 spots from these rankings in last year because, man, this team just managed to screw things up even more. Yes, you had Russell Wilson, and I expected Russell Wilson to bounce back, and he kind of did. But then you basically said to Russell Wilson, hey, we're not going to keep you. So now they're back to square one once again, and this team is just stuck in the perpetual rebuild. So they're just looking even worse right now. At number 27, we have the New York Giants falling 15 spots. One of the biggest fallers in these rankings from last season as, man, they just crashed. Last year they made the wild card. This year they barely didn't even do anything to stay in the playoff race. And it just goes to show you, this team really is just not that consistent. I mean, Daniel Jones was looking up and down. He wasn't even consistent when he did play. So this team really is just going to need to get a lot of help. I really feel like building up that defense and getting maybe 1 or 2 big wide receivers, and you should be good with Daniel Jones, but that is not quite a guarantee because, Jones, he has potential, but they're not really utilizing the potential to the fullest. At number 26, we have the Arizona Cardinals, who are up 3 spots from these rankings in last year, and I just want to say I'm a little bit higher on this game. I'm a little bit bullish. I really feel like they're finally starting to pick up the pieces from the whole Cliff Kingsbury experience, and they just start to feel like they're starting to move in the right direction. And once again, Kyler Murray is going to be back for a full season next year, so, we'll see how it goes. At number 25, we have the New Orleans Saints down 1 spot, pretty much where they were last year because they got potential. They really do. They just haven't been capitalizing on this potential, and that's what they got to start to learn how to do. If they start capitalizing on the potential they have, they're easily a top 16 team, no doubt in my mind. But the way they're playing right now, they are just not capitalizing on it, and they got to do that next season. Otherwise, they might even fall further in these rankings. At number 8, we have a team that I am very high on next year, the Chicago Bears. I really feel like this team is set up to succeed, especially if they can go into the draft and pick up Marvin Harrison Jr. to pair with, your good quarterback in Justin Fields. I really feel like this team is primed to make a jump this season. If there's one team that I'm on the lookout for a team to go from, struggling team to making the playoffs, kind of like the Houston Texans, it is the Chicago Bears. That is my pick. Because, man, this team just feels like something special whenever I look at them right now in their current situation. At number 23, we have the Los Angeles Chargers, down 7 spots in these rankings. I mean, yeah, Jim Harbaugh is now the coach, so there's a lot that could happen. But I really feel like this team just didn't capitalize on what they had. So until they can show me that they can capitalize things, now once again, I might be putting them a little bit low. I might be really putting them very low, actually. But, I really feel like this team just has not lived up to the hype that they had. And I know a lot of that was Brandon Staley's doing, but at the same time, I want to see if Jim Harbaugh can actually turn this team around, or if it's the players themselves that are underperforming to what they could be. At number 22, we have the Atlanta Falcons, kind of in the same boat as the Chargers. Lots of talent, not using it right, and underperforming. I really feel like the Falcons now under Dan Quinn might have a chance, kind of like the Chargers under Jim Harbaugh, but I really want to see what these players can do with a competent head coach next season. At number 21, we have the Indianapolis Colts, up 9 spots from last season. One of the biggest risers, and the biggest riser we have in this first half, I'm pretty sure. Because, man, this team made noise. They got Anthony Richardson in the draft. He looked very good. He looked damn good this season when he played. Granted, he barely played a lot of the season, but he looked really good when he did. I really feel like throwing him in with this Colts roster can really make things happen. And the Colts can be a magical team to be competing with the Texans. Jacksonville, it was supposed to be their division to win for years to come with Trevor Lawrence. Now it kind of feels like the Jaguars are just going to be stuck in a battle for third with the Titans, if I'm being completely honest. At number 20, we have the Seattle Seahawks, who are down 7 spots from last season. And I mean, man, this team really felt like they took a bit of a step back this year, didn't they? And it seems like Geno Smith might have been that kind of one-year wonder quarterback, because they didn't really look all too amazing. I mean, they held their own, but they didn't really look like anything special like they did last season. So I really feel like the Seahawks just need to make a couple of moves. And they should be on a good path. But overall, I just feel like this team, the way they're sitting, is just kind of a little bit in a worse spot from last season. At number 19, we have the Las Vegas Raiders. They are going to be rising 8 spots from last year in these rankings. And I mean, this team, they started looking better. Aiden O'Connell, their quarterback, started to step up a little bit more. They finally have a stable head coach that the locker room supports in Antonio Pierce. And Pierce had a proven track record in this regular season as well. He looked pretty solid when he was the interim head coach. So I really feel like this Raiders team is going to be something to watch as well. The Raiders could be one of those other contenders to go from rough team to contender, potentially. Not quite as strong as the Bears, but they really feel like they have some potential there to be something a little special and to be a thorn in the side of everyone in the AFC in the playoffs. At number 18, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. This team has a lot of potential, and I feel like once they fired their offensive coordinator in Matt Canada, things really got better for this team. Now, I'm not quite sure on the hiring. I'm still a little bit wary on the hiring of Arthur Smith because, his personnel decisions weren't the greatest, but he did have a solid run as offensive coordinator down in Tennessee with the Titans. So I really feel like there's a chance, but overall I'm not completely sold on this team just yet, and I really feel like they did kind of take a big step back this season. And last but not least for today, we have at number 17, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are going to be rising 8 spots from last season in these rankings, and man, this team looked good. Baker Mayfield came in, he saw, he conquered the NFC, and man, Baker Mayfield having a big comeback year. As long as they can lock Baker up, this team can make a run in the next couple years. Because they have the core to do it. The problem is they have a lot of free agents, but if they can retain a lot of those key free agents, maybe do a little bit of a retooling, this team can really, really be something special in the next couple years. Alright, well that's about going to do it for me today. If you guys did like, don't forget to smash like and subscribe, as it does help me out a whole lot. And also if you subscribe, ring the bell so you get notified tomorrow whenever I upload the power rankings, the final part of these power rankings, teams ranked 16 to rank 1. And I guess with that, make sure you go ahead and check out the video down here. It's one that YouTube thinks you will love, so why not go ahead and check it out. And with that, I will see you guys later. Peace out and have a good one.